you. Now, I'll give you a taste of a story called A Flood of Memories. And A Flood of Memories is based on the opera Tosca by Puccini, and at the same time, it explores the real-life history of Enrico Caruso during the time that he was singing the opera in New York. It works with one aria in the opera when the tenor, about to be executed, decides to write a letter to his love, Tosca. And the libretto says he starts to write, he wants to write, all at once he is overcome by a flood of memories. What happens in the story is that the narrator starts to write and is overcome by a similar flood of memories, making him, in effect, in position to be executed. Anyway, this is one of the flood of memories. Growing up as I did with the notion of Caruso as a demigod, my response to the discovery many years later that he was tantalizingly mortal was pure and absolute astonishment. But after my surprise had faded, I found that my profound admiration for Caruso the man had intensified. According to Stanley Jackson's biography, Caruso had been arrested on November 16, 1906, for allegedly squeezing a woman's buttocks in the monkey house of the Central Park Zoo. The tenor insisted on his innocence all the way to the park station. Once in police custody, however, he was overtaken by emotion. Scuffling with two patrolmen, he was pleading on his knees when thrust behind bars. Release on $500 bail did nothing to assuage Caruso's nerves. During his hearing at the Yorkville Police Court, James J. Kane, the arresting officer, testified that Caruso had not been particularly interested in the monkeys. Rather, he had approached several women, culminating in the pinching of the posterior of Mrs. Hannah K. Graham. Mrs. Graham then socked him, shouting, "You loafer! You beast!" Caruso, under attack, denied any wrongdoing. Eye contact had been established. Smiles had been exchanged. Fine. When pressed, Mrs. Graham refused to take the stand, claiming that Caruso's supposedly ruffian friends would manhandle her. A flimsy, fishy excuse. But then, a veiled woman in white, out of some Wilkie Collins novel, testified that Caruso had reached out and touched her one night while both were in audience at the Met. This accusation was thrown out of court, but it seemed to offset the discovery that Officer Kane had been the best man at Mrs. Graham's wedding. The Deputy Police Commissioner, undoubtedly confusing Caruso with his role as the profligate Duke in Verdi's Rigoletto, lashed out at the tenor as a moral pervert, an alien who threatened the virtuousness of American females. He tossed in the assertion that Caruso had earlier assaulted still another woman to whom he had given a ride in his auto. But she, if she even existed, had not pressed charges. A monkey trial, you say? And I could not agree more. It ought to have been held in the Central Park Zoo. Nonetheless, Caruso was found guilty and fined $10. On appeal, the judge held that the tenor had assaulted not only Mrs. Graham, but public order and decency as well. Incredible but true.